Hello, uh, good evening and good morning. This is Hannah Klein. Welcome to Hannah Klein's Time. Today, I cannot miss. Uh, it it was the 20th of January in the United States, and President Trump formally became president. Formally, there was an inauguration ceremony held in Washington D.C. Oh, Melania Trump. She was very chic, and she was very elegant um, at the inauguration, and um, she was very elegant again at the when she danced with President Trump at the Inauguration Ball. That was very impressive. And I saw some people taking photos with Speaker Johnson or some people like just taking photos at the inauguration. And right before that, 3 hostages were released after 470 days. So Romi Gonen, Doron Steinbrecher, Emily Damari came back. Oh my gosh! They must. Well, it is a relief, really, but there are still hostages who are held by Hamas, and I just cannot tolerate any journalists who praise Hamas after witnessing how they killed Israelis, and also going back to the history. What did Arafat do? He did terrible things to Israeli people, and what? Israeli people are to blame regarding Arafat, for example. It's just unacceptable what they are doing. By the way, President Trump was officially in office, and what he did first, well, he did a lot of things. Using his authority, but UNRWA funds are halted by the executive order. That was so right as a decision to me. I mean, why do the billionaires, for example, have to be the refugees? I don't exactly understand why. I talked about this with some Israeli people or American Jews over why Israel is special to me, especially what I think is that there's no class, number one. There's no well, it sounded, it was not something new that I started to like Israel is something that has been like decades, and decades that I really, really started to like Israel. And I did, uh, uh, I did, I was thinking a lot about Israel, and the media are always biased against Israel, of course, and they say like they work for the United States or something. Like the narratives were always the same. So, I don't exactly understand why the Japanese media are not really sorry for 1,200 victims and casualties on October 7th. And at the same time, the hostages. Back in 1977, on November 15th, Ms. Megumi Yokota were kidnapped. Her mother is still alive. Her father did not see her and passed away. It is still Mrs. It's now Mrs. or I have to say Ms. Megumi Yokota's wish. No, Megumi Yokota's mother's wish to see her daughter. So we make fun of her, never. But when it comes to Israeli people, it just starts with all these terrible words that comes out of the journalists. And then there's a photo of Shani Luke. I'm just so sorry for what happened to her. And I don't exactly understand why. The Japanese media really want to hurt Israelis, or I don't know what to say. Well, see, I know that Yomiuri featured the Hirsch's mom. She was folding origami for her son. It was Crane. She wanted to fold 1,000 cranes, and she wished that her son would come back, Rachel. And he was executed. What kind of conscience is that? And I am called evil Zionists by certain people. And then here we go, stupid Zionists. Fine. You know what? I'm not asking those people to evaluate me. I just hate such, acts or behaviors. But many people like to do this. And I really hate it at the bottom line. And I don't care, anymore whether people call me Zionist or not Zionist or whatever, because I love Israel, period. And my Christian friends also live in Israel, and they're happily, they're really happy, enjoying their lives. But now they're in a war, so they cannot enjoy. But they are contributing to some, supporting people. Like, for example, in the north. And, well, tonight, I have to say, this evening, by the United States time, I am going to interview a person living in California. I also asked him about the fire, and he told me that he lives far from the fire, but it is awful, which is true. I mean, there have been fires in California, and it is very bad. So today's evening's guest is Lindsay Levine. He was born in South Africa. I mean, he's Jewish, and he lives in the United States for a long time. His specialty is chemical engineering, and he is going to talk about hydrogen. Well, and his opinion about hydrogen and the future. So I hope that you download, of course, the conversation with him, my conversation with him, and there will be more interesting guests that I have invited. So I hope that you download my podcasts, and also I will be speaking some interesting news. So please download my solo podcasts too. I really, appreciate it if you do that. But anyway, I think that I should probably hit the sack and hit the hay, right? Hit the sack and hit the hay or whatever. So I hope that all the hostages come back, no matter what happens. And I hope that, I pray and hope that, President Trump is going to help Israeli people. And I think he's doing that. So, I mean, I'm not saying that he's not doing, but I think he's doing. And Elon Musk, I hope that he helps Israeli people as well. Okay, so I will, this is the end of this podcast, and I hope you have a good day, or I hope you have a good night, and this is about it. So please download this podcast, and also small contributions are really appreciated, because I would like to continue this podcast publicly. So yeah, I would like to have more listeners, and also yeah, so have listeners, or those who download the podcasts. So please download the podcast, and also introduce my podcast to your friends. Okay, so thank you and good night.